Well, good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, and fightbackmediatv.com. We hope that you are well this wonderful, fantastic day. Every day is a great day. Just some days it's raining. Every day is a good day. So instead of having coffee, I'm getting some water. Trying to get my water in. You should be getting your water in. Anyway, we mentioned this yesterday, I think, that Lori Lightfoot, I always want to call her Littlefoot, like the Littlefoot that was on the in the cartoon about the dinosaurs. I know it's terrible. Sorry, sorry. I'll do better. Not anyway. Lori Little Lightfoot finished in third place and with about 17% of the vote. We're going to talk about that, and you know what? And her reasons for her loss are exactly what you would think they would be. We're going to talk about it anyway. It's kind of funny. We've all seen the video where this woman who is a teacher's aide at the school here in Florida gets attacked by this big kid. Just hops on her and just starts wailing on her. The story, the narrative that went out at first, we're finding out is incorrect. Just like always, when one of these narratives come out, the best thing you can do is just go, wait a minute, wait for it, and then you'll find out exactly what happened or closer to what happened. We're going to let you know what the narrative was, and we're going to give you the correction of that narrative. All right. Again, thank you ever so much for tuning in to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. We'll be back right after these messages. So, is it okay now? Because it was, I mean, during the Trump administration, it is okay to talk about the president's.
Yeah, we talked about mental health elderly, so let's talk about this guy mental health.
The president's mental acuity, because there's sometimes where it seems to be lacking. Have you seen?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's especially bad. I mean, I'm talking about sometimes it's like really bad. Like, have you seen the picture?
I was told not to take any questions.
I was told not to take any questions. They told they're going to be mad at me.
They're going to be mad at me.
They,
Mr. President, are you the president, or are you five?
You see what I want. See, the next question is, excuse me,
I was told to call on what you call it for NBC. Who's telling you to call on?
That's the question that we ought to be asking. Who's telling you this?
I mean, I don't understand why nobody won't ask that question.
Is Jen Psaki actually the president?
Who's telling you to call on these people in the media?
Is Jen Psaki actually the president?
Probably so.
Lori Lightfoot was the mayor of Chicago. To give you some, and she lost her reelection bid yesterday. But to give you some context on that, no mayor has lost reelection in the city of Chicago for 40 years, since 1983, which is part of what's wrong with Chicago, obviously, until Lori Lightfoot. She managed to rule over the town, and I say rule because that's what it was. She managed to rule over the town while it had the worst crime spike in a long, long time. And it's one of the towns that was slowest to come back from the pandemic. Yeah, that's what I said. And the citizens of Chicago were finally just fed up with it, looking to go another direction, any other direction other than the direction that they were going. So like out of control crime and a lack of public safety impacts everybody in Chicago. And Lightfoot's opponent, Chicago's public school CEO, Paul Vallis website says, no matter where you live, you've surely seen a change for the worse in the past few years. Vallis will run against Cook County Board of Commissioners member Brandon Johnson, who finished in second place. Now, it isn't like Vallas is a conservative Republican, so let's not make him a microwave hero. He is not. And Brandon Johnson has video out there where he too was calling for the defunding of the police. So, and he's been trying his best to walk all that crap back. So neither of these people are movement conservatives or even Republicans. So let's not get all happy and joyous about, well, Chicago's back, buddy. My guess is that things will stay pretty much the same. It'll turn into a little less of a crap hole than it is now, but it's still going to be in the crap hole realm. We kind of hope that Lori Lightfoot's time is up. She's 60 years old. She doesn't need the money, and it's time to go. Well, you know what? I did, and she says that she's proud of what she did. Okay, then you did good. Fine. Write a book. You know, teach at a school. Teach at the University of Chicago. There's lots of stuff you can do. Being in politics anymore, there's no need. But we'll see. However, she was not, again, you already know. You already know. When asked what happened, Lightfoot complained to reporters that sexism and racism were the reasons behind her landslide defeat in Chicago's mayoral election. She says this, I'm a black woman in America. Of course. Like somehow that was it. That none of the things that have happened, none of the things that are going on in Chicago, none of the shootings, the murders, none of that stuff matters. I'm a black woman in America. And said she was asked, the reporter said she's been treated unfairly as mayor. Regardless of the nice outcome, we fought the right fights and we put the city on a better path. She's flipping delusional. Lightfoot also said, though crime skyrocketed under her recent years, and her watch on the recent years. Earlier this week, Lightfoot said that the race was a factor in her reelection. That race was a factor in her reelection campaign. I'm a black woman. Let's not forget that. Lightfoot said in an interview with New Yorker last week. Certainly, folks, certain folks, frankly, don't support us in leadership roles. In 2021, an interview with WTTW, Lightfoot claimed that about 99% of criticism she got was due to the fact that she's a black woman, not that she was incompetent. Again, she finished in third place with about 17% of the vote. This race will move to a runoff on April 4th. No candidate received a majority of the vote, so it's going to be a runoff. Out of control crime and lack of public safety impact everyone. Lightfoot's opponent, Chicago's public school CEO Charles Vallas, website states. Now, Charles Vallas is also won the police union's endorsement. Now, he also had, I think his wife is a police officer. He's got like 4 police officers in his family, and that doesn't make everybody in Chicago happy. What's interesting about, and for what I can gather, what's interesting about Lightfoot's statements is this: we're talking about Democrats and lots of them. So is she saying that the Democrats in Chicago are racist and sexist? It seems to me that Democrats pride themselves on not being racist and not being sexist. So how could this be? How could this be, Littlefoot? That the Democrats, the liberals, the leftists that have been running Chicago for years are all of a sudden racist and sexist. The people that swept you in the office are suddenly now racist and sexist. The people who celebrated you when you busted out there looking like a mini prince, they have all become what? Sexist and racist? And it has nothing to do with your performance. Nothing? Zero? In a town that is left of Chicago, how does a black lesbian lose? It's got to be based on something else. It's got to be based on something else. My guess is that it was. We'll be right back. Well, hey everybody, my name is Willie Lawson, and you guys know that I do a lot of stuff on the internet. And you may think with what's happening on Twitter and what's happening on Facebook and what happened to Parler that the mainstream social media sources are really trying to rid themselves of conservative voices. And you'd be right. They most certainly are. But you know what? It isn't as bad as you think it is. It's worse. But there are people who are willing to be platformed for free speech. One of those places is freedomforum.website. freedomforum.website. You can go there and speak your mind. So come join us. Enjoy the freedom. Enjoy the fun. If you are a true blue conservative, small businesses are near and dear to your heart. They are the lifeblood of our life and economy. I believe this, and that's why my florist is not a website or phone number. My florist is Blooming Days Flower Shop, Tampa's premier flower shop. At 11618 North Florida Avenue here in Tampa, Florida, and at 6835 State Road 54 in Newport Richey. Call Christine at 813-933-1942 and at 727-232-6900. She can also be reached on the web at www.bloomingdays.com. One of the things that I get asked most is where can I get information that is not tainted with liberal bias, especially here in the Tampa Bay area. Well, now I have the answer. tbctampa.com, a website by and for Tampa area conservatives. Tampa's leading conservative voices speak freely at tbctampa.com. And you can too. So join the fun and enjoy the freedom. at tbctampa.com. My name is Willie Lawson, and this is the Morning Report. All right, welcome back. Joan Nadich, who's a teacher's aide at a Florida high school, spoke for the first time since a student brutally assaulted the 57-year-old mother of two on February 21st, and I guess that was about 7 days ago, to correct a piece of misinformation that has been circulating around the interwebs about the attack. I'm not going to show the footage here, but in the footage, the Matanza, I think is how it's pronounced, high school surveillance system caught Brendan J. Deppa, who's a 6'6", 270-pound 17-year-old, can be seen charging Nadich, launching her several feet before repeatedly punching and kicking her at least 15 times before a group of people pulled him off of her. The suspect reportedly told police that Nadich took away his Nintendo Switch, but according to the message from Nadich posted on the GoFundMe page for her, that's not correct. No, not that it matters. Not that it matters. Overwhelmed with the idea of the long fight ahead, she said, telling those who have donated to her, donated that their contributions are lessening the burden, and she is grateful for them. I'm hopeful that the awareness of this incident being spread far and wide will prevent anyone else from ever having to deal with the trauma, physical healing, and disruption of everyday life that this has caused, she continued. It's touching to know that so many care. This certainly wasn't how I saw my son's senior year turning out for our family. In a message to the, quote, keyboard warriors out there, Nadich said she never took the suspect's video game console. She said, I just want to set the record straight. I never took the Nintendo Switch from him. From anyone that's read or heard differently, I've been told this was unfortunately misinformation. In the body cam footage later on, you can see Deppa asking the police if he's going to jail and telling him, I have more important things to do. According to the Daily Mail, the suspect was previously charged with battery 3 times in 2019 and had gone through the Department of Juvenile Justice program. He's being charged as an adult with aggravated battery on the school grounds. Now, it is obvious to me, spending the time that I spent in schools, that there was something dreadfully, horribly wrong with this child. This child is EH, EMH, trainable, something. Something's going on. Now, it leads to it should lead to a larger problem. So often we have kids, and they're kids, who come back into the school district after leaving the justice system, or the lack of justice system, and because they have terrible problems, anger problems, they've been violent for whatever reason, and then you just put them back in GP and general population until you wait for something bad to happen before you can pull them out. My guess, and this is only my guess, this is not the first time this young man has acted out inappropriately. This is probably not the first time where he's threatened somebody. Probably not. And he was just shoved back into the population. Now, the comments under here are horrendous. Horrendous. Because you're on purpose and ignoring what the real problem is. So I don't know. I hope that with the right information out, we can find out why this kid thought he had to do this, unless he is as whacked out as I think he is. I mean, he just beat the crap out of somebody, and then he asked the cop if he was going to jail, and he said, "I got more important things to do to go to jail." Yeah, not really right now. So maybe he can get into some sort of program. So maybe he can get some help. At the same time, of course, we hope that Miss Nadich recovers and get some help, the help that she needs. The anxiety is going to be way high if she's able to even step on foot on a school campus anymore. So we got to pray that that everybody gets better here. If a young man Depa doesn't get better, he's going to kill somebody or be killed by somebody. So something's got to break, and I hope it's soon. All right. Anyway, we got to get out of here and make room for somebody else. So until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness and until we go out there, like I said, and for goodness sakes, take care of yourself. Until we see you again, see you.